Yesterday, I thought it was moist. Today, no, moist can't even describe it. It's more like a sauna that you can't escape from. So it's a good day. Yeah, it's great. It's really hot though. It's like, it is July.
All right, back for another long day of spraying. Looking at our water truck here, our chemical pile's shrinking, definitely. Pulled quite a bit out of the bulk totes there, and our acephate and imidacloprid is shrinking fast. So I told you I'd bring you down and show you what the cotton looks like. This field right here is our earliest replanted Delta pine. The last field you saw from the sprayer was original planted Delta pine that looked like crap, and as you can tell, this replanted Delta pine looks a lot better. However, it still pales in comparison to my Phytogen. Now, everybody told me that this Delta pine 2115 it's pretty much going to look like crap all the way up until whenever you put a picker in there, and then it picks lights out. So what I'm seeing so far is holding true. Don't know about the yield, but I mean, the cotton doesn't look bad. It's just not getting up and going like we expect. We got plenty of moisture, we got plenty of fertilizer, we got plenty of sunlight and warm temperatures, but it's just taking its sweet time about growing. Unlike the Phytogen that I'll show you here later on today. You can tell up here in the upper nodes though, it's starting to take off a little bit. We got about 3 fingers in between each node. We want to get that down, so we're putting out some mepiquat chloride, a growth regulator on this. But just looking at the development, this right here is the most mature square on there, and it's still got a ways to go before it blooms. It'll probably be sometime next week before this square blooms. And because today is July 12th, that means this cotton is way behind. If it was going to start blooming this week, I'd feel a whole lot better about it, but just don't look like that it is going to happen. But as you can tell, we got a perfect stand. It's just in my guesstimation, it's at least 2.5 to 3 weeks behind, and our our Delta pine Thrive On cotton looks the same way. It's there, it looks good, it's just not getting up and growing. This cotton's mature enough that it's starting to get plant bugs in it, and that's what we're trying to knock out, because it is extremely crucial that the fruit that's on there now, that we keep it on the plant and it blooms. We don't want insects knocking any of the fruit off on it right now, because we're not going to have a chance later on in season to add more fruit to this plant. So we're being extremely aggressive on insect management this year, just try to protect everything that we can. University of Tennessee says we want to keep at least above an 80% retention rate on your lower fruit in the plant. Well, this year we're trying to do about 90% or better, and so far we've been able to achieve it. It just means more spraying of the cotton, but hopefully it'll pay off come this fall. All right, well, while I've been sitting out here talking to you, instead of spraying, probably lost a few pounds of cotton per acre. So let's get this sprayer fired up, get these bugs killed. And when I get over to my Phytogen cotton, I'll give you something to look at right there. Boy, it's blowing me away.
Welcome to day, I don't even know. Yesterday, I thought it was moist. Today, no, moist can't even describe it. It's more like a sauna that you can't escape from. And last night we got back and we had to fix the bins. Matt was in there for like a good 45 minutes. We get out, we find out that the mechanism to close the gate was bent. Don't know how it got bent, but it got bent. Someone laid something pretty freaking heavy on top of it, so you couldn't close the gate. It was constantly hitting it. So with a come along chain, us sweating profusely, and at 9:45 at night, we were able to fix it. Now everything is good. Except Matt was like, no, we're gonna be down to the bin sweep like on Thursday. We just got down to the bin sweep around 9:15. So now we've got one truck loaded in there. And then when Andy comes back, Carter's gonna fill them up, and then Matt and I have to come back in and mess with the bin sweep, as moist as it is outside. So it's a good day. Yeah, it's great. It's really hot though. It's like, it is July. So we're able to get the loadout bin full. Had to open the other gate on the other side. And now, piece de resistance is that she is ready. Yep, for bin sweep. I think we could probably get half a loadout bin full before we have to turn her on, and then hope to God our investment works. So last night, this was completely bent in. I actually took a picture of it. And it looks like somebody laid something metal on there and it was just caved in. So this mechanism, because there's a mechanism right here, could not keep moving, so it just kept catching. Matt thought it was a bolt, and I was like, wait a minute, man, this thing's bent, something ain't right. So crowbars and come along chain, it worked. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh man, down to the bin sweep. So it's gonna be a fun, busy day today. As moist as it is outside, it's gonna be a good time.
All right, it is time for us to take just a little break from spraying because Andy's been busy hauling wheat for a week now, and we have got down to the center well in the bin, and it is time to see just how well that new paddle sweep in the bin gonna work. I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of excited. So we're gonna run up here real quick and see what she'll do. And I just seen that we got an elbow that's wore through here. Yeah, guess I need to call my grain bin people. All right, we got it pretty much unburied. We might have to do some scooping around it. I don't know. I'm gonna go get the cord, bring it out here and plug it in and see if it'll do anything. If not, we might have to dig it out a little more. Here we go, moment of truth. And she's moving. So far, I'm pretty pleased. This wheel right here is keeping it pushed up into the grain real good. I'm not having to sit here and kick it like we did with the old one. Looking at the grain left on the floor, it's leaving a couple inches on the floor, but they tell me that's what it's supposed to do. The first pass, you know, it's going to bring all of this up here down to the center well, and then you run a second pass and it'll sweep the floor real good is what they tell me, so we'll see. Sweep is running at about half capacity, so might have some room to speed that sweep up a little bit, try and get a little bit more capacity out of it, because the loop can certainly take it right here. But overall, so far, I'm really happy with what I see. Definitely going to be a big upgrade to our old one here, so we'll have to run it all the way around. First time and run around the second time and see just how good of a job it does. But it sure is nice now that I don't like to be in here kicking this thing forward and with a shovel shoveling up behind it. So I think we're really going to enjoy that.
Trusty farm dog. There's a theme with all of our cotton fields this year. Glorious poop. And there's a 2x4 in there. Definitely not climbing that to get it out. So yeah, I'm working smarter, not harder. Brought everything down here. I'm gonna fill up. We are doing a lot of acephate. So 50 pounds of acephate about 2 gallons of, yeah, however you want to pronounce that. I'm not gonna say it wrong and then have people, you know, roast me for it. So, gonna get that set up for Matt. I think he started in the back and he's working his way forward. And then take that back to the shop and then walk back this way because I'm working smarter, not harder today. And as hot as it is outside and as moist as it is, you gotta stay hydrated. And what better way than... No, seriously, these are awesome. Everybody needs to get one of these. It's a 40 ounce and keeps it really cold, keeps ice for about 4 or 5 hours. And then I think we talked about doing a 1/2 gallon jug. So going over the website and y'all get hooked up with some. Like I said, these are great, and you just can clip them on to stuff and carry them around. This one's been beat up a little bit because of planting being in the cup holder, but still, I love these. These are great. Trying to get her to get me a 1/2 gallon one. I think she found one. I might put it on the website if people are interested. So y'all go get you one. We also have beer koozies now. So we have skinny can beer koozies and the, you know, manly ones for their beers. Or I'm sorry, if you like your sodas or your energy drinks, those koozies fit Red Bulls as well. So go on over and get you one because these are amazing. I love them.
All right, we made it to some of our slightly earlier replanted cotton, but the big difference over here is the variety. What we're looking at here is Phytogen 360, and as you can tell, it's definitely a lot farther along. But it was only planted maybe 2 days earlier than the last spot that I showed you. But that just goes to show you the difference in growth habits between varieties. Phytogen 360's got real good vigor. It's a very aggressive growing variety. And believe it or not, we've already got one plant growth regulator application on this cotton last week. But looking down here in the canopy, here's the oldest square. And see, it's definitely a lot farther along. There's a chance, I don't know if it'll bloom this week, it'll probably bloom this weekend, but I'd say it's probably close to a week ahead of that last variety that we looked at. You know, we got a lot of fruit here, and it's this fruit down here in the lower part of the canopy, especially these first position squares, that we really want to protect, because these are our money bowls. This is where the biggest money is going to get. And you know, if a plant bug comes in and feeds on this square and the plant kicks it off, you know, it's got to try and make it up a little bit higher up in the canopy. That's not going to have as much time to mature, put as much fiber in. So that's why it's so critical, these early plant bug applications, why we're being aggressive this year, because we got a condensed growing season and we cannot afford to lose any of that low-hanging fruit. We need to keep that on the plant because that's where our profit's going to be at this year. But yeah, this Phytogen 360 is looking absolutely fantastic. It's probably about a week to a week and a half behind where I would want it to be, and when we get to another farm, I'll show you the difference in what we planted first and then this right here that we had to replant, and why replanting, you know, kind of hurt us and really hurt where we need to be so bad this year. But overall, this cotton right here, it's got a real good chance. As long as we got a warm August, warm September, warm early October, this cotton's got a good chance of making some real good crop. You know, there's no reason it couldn't be 1,100-1,200 pounds an acre if we get the heat to do it. The rest of it, the Delta pine and stuff, I don't know. It might surprise me. It might come on later, but you know, right now, it'll surprise me if it can make the ground up. We got here on our last field of cotton. I saved the best for last. Ooh-wee, now look at that. That's what all my cotton should look like. And it's what it would all look like if we didn't have to replant all of it. I mean, man alive, look at this. Beautiful. And according to my Cotton Scout, there should be some blooms out here. We started getting some late last week, early this week. Huh, there's one right there. Yep, so this cotton is now blooming. It is setting fruit. That's where my money's gonna be, right there in that little bitty bowl right there. That's where the money's gonna be at. Well, got another pink bloom there. And just in case, if you haven't seen my video, how cotton grows, when cotton sends out the bloom, it's originally a white bloom that first day. And then as the sun hits it, it turns pink. And so if you see a pink or red bloom out there, you know it's at least 1 day old, if not older. Yeah, there's blooms scattered all throughout here, and man, this stuff is loaded up with squares. That right there is a white bloom. It will emerge tomorrow. So looking at this, it's what might have been if the rest of my cotton had come up. I mean, we could be looking at a fantastic cotton crop. As it is, a little less than 10% of my cotton looks like this. But hey, it's better to have some than none at all. And you never know, rest of it might get the heat units, it might mature out, it might produce fine. But I don't think there's hardly any possibility it's gonna yield like what this could yield. See, there's a bloom right there that emerged last night, and you see how it's just starting to turn pink. And then if you look at one node lower, this branch right here, because the first position bloom takes about 3 days to go up a node. This one bloomed today. This one bloomed 3 days ago right there. And then this bloom right here, that's the second position on the same branch as this one. It should bloom 5 days from now. And then this one right here, that's the next position up from this one, should bloom 10 days from now. Here's one that bloomed quite a while ago. This one probably bloomed, see, that's a node below this, where this other one was. This one bloomed probably 6 days ago. So that bowl's starting to grow. So anyway, if you're curious about how cotton does grow, I did a video the year before last. I thought it was really good. Describes step by step how cotton grows. It's extremely interesting. And something else you might not know about cotton, the leaves, all of these little bitty solar panels you see right here, they follow the sun. See, the cotton's not quite all the way overhead. It's starting to dip towards that horizon right there. And you see these leaves are kind of tilted that way. This morning, all the leaves were tilted this way. So I'm gonna try to set up a day-long time lapse that shows you the movement of cotton leaves throughout the day. It's pretty neat. It's one of the few plants that the leaves actually track the sun, just to be able to maximize how much sunlight it can intercept. Oh yeah, boy, I'm expecting big things out of this field right here. If we can keep the plant bugs out of it. Like I said, this is the 3rd week in a row we're having to spray for plant bugs in this field. Normally, you spray once, then you spray 2 weeks later, you know, on about a every 2 week cycle, but the plant bug pressure is exceptionally high so far this summer. So we got the fruit on the plant. The big thing is going to be keeping the fruit on the plant without getting it damaged by insects. Anyway, let's get this cotton wrapped up, and then I gotta go custom spray fungicide on some beans. All right, as you can see, the theme of the last several weeks continues today with more spraying. Spraying. We got all the bugs taken care of in our cotton, got a plant growth regulator, got some soybean spray with fungicide, got all our wheat beans covered, and now we're back on the hoods. This smaller cotton, and about the last week, has grown enough to run this through here, and so have the weeds. So we gotta get across this as quickly as possible. But look at the weather today. I don't know how much we're gonna be able to do. They got like a 50% chance of rain every single day for the next 4 or 5 days, which I'm not gonna complain with. If it wants to rain, let it rain. But at some point, we gotta get this ground covered In other news, Andy's just about done hauling grain. We got about the bin sweep almost half the way around, so hopefully at some point late tomorrow we'll have all the wheat gone. That new bin sweep working fabulous. The only time I've had to be in there, other than fixing a wire that had a problem with and pulled in two, which is why I'm all sweaty right now, but the only time I've had to be in there is just sweeping out around the edges where it can't quite reach. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have the first pass done, and then all I have to do is just make another cleanup pass, and then get in there with the leaf blower for a few minutes, finish cleaning up, and we will have a clean bin. But I'm digging that paddle sweep. I'm digging it a lot. I think it's going to be a very good investment for us, and if I knew I could get one bought and installed in my other bin, my bin 3 before corn harvest, I'd be calling and getting one done right now today. Because with this rain, I think there's a good chance we're probably going to need all of our bins this year. But in reality, I really don't need to be spending another $15,000 on a bin sweep, considering the fact I just spent about $42,000 just a few minutes ago. That's right, I went ahead and ordered that chicken litter spreader, the one I went and looked at down in Alabama. I got the quotes in from several other people, and the place where I went and looked was a whole lot lower by about $5,000 to $7,000, for the simple fact the ones I was looking at have been on their lot for about 3 to 4 months now, and they've had several price increases since then. And then looking at another one coming 1st of August, and the other folks would be ordering a brand new one straight from the factory, the exact same thing, but with about probably 6 or 7% price increase total. So anyway, got it ordered. They're going to do a little retrofitting on there to put the rate controller valves on there, and probably get it delivered to our farms sometime there in early August. So really looking forward to that. So if it works like I think it should, that's one part of the equation on getting my chicken litter done that's solved, that I hopefully won't have to worry about anymore. The next problem is now that I didn't spend all that money on a spreader, I got to make sure I can actually get the stuff, because otherwise that's going to be $42,000 that's been wasted if I got a piece of equipment there, but I can't use it because I can't get the product to spread. So, but I got enough on the ground. We got about 765 tons on the ground right now. That'll be enough for all of my wheat ground at least. So at the very least, we've got that. Now I just got to figure how I'm gonna find the time to get all that spread, get our cotton harvested, and get our wheat planted in a timely manner when we're looking at a late cotton crop as it is. But that'll be a problem for another day. Right now, I'm just gonna concentrate on get as much of this ground covered as possible. All right, we're down to the last little bit of grain hauling. Kelly been loading Andy up. She says the bin sweeps come all the way around, so time to make a second pass, see what it's gonna do. Oh, it's done gotten dark in here. We're getting late in the day. All right, it's made it all the way around. And it got stuck in the outside well there. Yeah, go ahead and turn the loop on. It just sank down this center well here. I gotta pick it up and out. Ooh, it's heavy. All right, turn it on. Cleaning it up right here, and then we probably going to make another pass after this. But that's what it does right there. As you can see, I've already swept everything around away from the edges that it left. And it's just a matter of everything in the middle. Probably have to go around 2 or 3. Pull that cord! Alright, start the third pass around now. As you can tell, it's cleaning up a little bit farther. I mean, that's not really leaving much for even a leaf blower to